I want to go back a bit. I think the first time we had about advisors officially in government was during the time of the late retired President Mwai Kibaki.
Okay.
And I think his first two advisors was Kivutha Kibwana, I think on on constitutional affairs, and I think Raphael Tuju,
yes, on media,
who served as a minister. And I think he besides being the minister, he also advised in some areas, I think, on the economy and on the media. And if such a brilliant mind, and this is not because Kibaki was from Nyeri, it is from the sentiments that Kenyans have expressed about his presidency and even about his tenure when he served as a minister, could see wisdom in appointing advisors. Then, per se, the idea of a presidency being supported by advisors is noble. And I hear a lot of times dignitaries visiting our country and visiting the president, and here, this is the US president's special advisor on African affairs. Meaning that a president, not just President William Ruto, any president in the world needs to have a source, a repository of expertise, expert opinions for all the things that he needs to have his eyes on or his mind on. And the duty of running our government and our nation as the head of state is not a simple duty. And therefore, I see sense in the president having advisors based on as a reaction, as a response to the feedback that he's getting from Kenyans. Kenyans are demanding more and more in terms of performance, in terms of delivery on the president.
But then, Mathenge, what's the role of cabinet?
At the end of the day, why do we say the buck stop at the president? And we tell him, you are the one we elected. The cabinet is structured to do certain things, and they are provided for in the Constitution. But when we come to the presidency, I do not think we should limit the president within reason in terms of the kinds of expertise that he needs to assemble. However, now that this issue has become contested, yes, should we, therefore, as a nation, provide guidelines as to how it should be done? And would that be tying the hands of the person that we are saying, then the buck stops with you?
Okay, but then how would you achieve that? Even talking about guidelines, because in the last term of his administration, President Kibaki had only 3 advisors, Raphael Tuju among them, and Professor Kivutha Kibwana.
Yes.
Then President Ruto is now 17 and above from 7. And we are talking about austerity measures, we are talking about unemployment. I mean, in the face of all this, why did he then pull against the public mood?
I've said, you see, from where you sit, there is the public mood as you see it. From where I sit, I have said the public mood is more and more demanding on the president to perform and deliver.
Okay, then let's talk about the mathematics before we go on a break and come back and proceed. And you can open page 5 of the Standard. There you go. Yes, of the Standard. Here is the list of what we have. Yes, so we can begin and see what is proportionate. Professor Makau Mutua? Okay, you can see Professor Makau Mutua, senior advisor on constitutional affairs.
And what have Kenyans been saying about the implementation of the Constitution?
No, we just look at the who then can, we pay for those services through the cabinet, is it? So there's the Attorney General's office. Is it? You come to Ambassador Dr. Monica Juma, National Security Advisor. She is deputized by Joseph Boynet, former IG. The President chairs the National Security Council, which has all the organs represented, including the military. You have Kisiangani, Moses Kuria, David Ndi, all part of the team of economic advisors. Yet there's the National Treasury, which should be coming with policies about how we manage our coffers, how we do our economic affairs. You have Harriet Chigai, advisor on women's rights. You have CS, who is responsible for gender. You have Henry Kenywa, advisor on food security. You have Dominic Menjo, advisor on food security and animal production advisor. You have the agriculture minister, and the ministry which can do that, and technocrats. Another cabinet. Okay, Augustine Chariot, senior advisor and head of presidential economic transformation secretariat. You have an entire treasury and departments that can do that. Ali Somane, advisor on security affairs, office of the national security, comes under Monica Juma and Joseph Boynet. Still, there's the national security council that the president chairs, which goes through intelligence reports. Mohammed Hassan, economic advisor, falls under David Ndii. Advisor on cooperatives, Steve Otieno, no picture there. Matters agriculture still. Political advisor, no designation, Karisa Nzai. Kennedy Ogeto, legal advisor here, he is. Abdi Guli, advisor to the president on livestock and rangeland management, comes under agriculture. Nancy Laibuni, associate member of Council of Economic Advisors, comes under the economic team. And Yaoko Oburu, special advisor on economic empowerment. No regularization here or specificity as to what. I mean, we are paying for cabinet ministers, fully furnished office, paying for their emoluments and benefits. What's the point of having all this web of advisors then?
Let me go to the National Security Council that advises the president. So after the National Security Council and its membership has left their advisory with the president on the table, what are the next steps? And that is the kind of opening of scope that I am talking about. That once the advisory is on the table, and I want to give the example of the advisory by Justice Maraga, emanating from the constitutional provision to President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, that the 12th Parliament was unconstitutional on the basis of 2/3 gender rule. President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, after that advisory had been placed on his table, was it just his responsibility alone as the president to therefore decide the step to take?
So his only turning point is to the state law office.
And that is what I'm saying. Yeah. You see, even the state law office would not advise on a provision of the Constitution.
But
because the state law office is a creation
if
of that Constitution.
Happen now under President William Ruto, then what's the role of the state law office that we pay for as taxpayers?
The state law office still existed when President Uhuru received the advisory from Maraga.
So any president...
We've never, after the presentation of that advisory, we have never had what became of it, or even a speculation as to where should we have gone as a nation. And to me, that is at that point that the president then needs this pool of advisors, because it's at that time that we say the buck stops at the president.
Thank you.